Hello everyone, welcome back to my next video. Today's a big day for Cody. He's going in to get his teeth cleaned. And that means he's going to be sedated and be here most of the day. And he'll get his teeth all cleaned and all checked out. And he's kind of sad. He's not enthused about the veterinarian. But of course it's essential. Healthcare is essential for your dogs as it is for us and your cats and mice and birds and everything. So I get a lot of questions. How do you do veterinary care on the road if you're a nomad with a pet? It's no big deal. Today we're going to meet my vet, Dr. Jacoby, who's been taking care of Cody for 2 years now, and he took care of Homer for 2 years before then. It's just been not a problem. We've had some major illnesses that we've had to deal with, and we'll tell you all about that. It's not a problem. Dr. Jacoby has graciously agreed to meet with us and give us all the information we need about taking care of our pets on the road. So let's go meet him and see what we can learn. Come on in. Hello everyone. So one of the questions I get all the time is, how do I take care of my dog or my cat or my bird even on the road? And it's not all that complicated. I've been doing it for a while now and it's not that hard. One of the things I've done is found a vet here in Williams, Arizona, Williams Veterinary Clinic. Yep. And is my home base. I travel through here, I plan on every spring, and Cody comes in, Homer before him, and sees you.
Yep. So
welcome to the video, Dr. Jacoby.
Oh, thank you.
And,
thanks for having me.
So we're just wondering, do you have advice for people who are RVers? You're something of an RVer yourself.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And do you have any advice for how to take care of your pets on the road?
Luckily with the internet, it's not too difficult to locate a veterinarian in a new town. So if you know your schedule, where you're going to be, it might be a good idea to locate several veterinarians along the way, so you have those handy when you get there. In general, it's also a good idea to kind of know the terrain or the area that you're going to and kind of know what to watch out for. Up here, we have a lot of open space, obviously, but we also have some animals like skunks and porcupines, coyotes.
And that's a big deal. Your dog bites into a porcupine, that's a big deal.
Yeah, we get several cases a year of that, and starting this time of year in the springtime, we'll see that. We've already had a couple javelina fights with dogs too, pretty close to town too. So it's good to know those kinds of things about the area you're going to. We don't have many snakes up here, but if you head south to the Sonoran Desert, you got to think about the snakes down there, that kind of thing. So get to know the area a little bit and the common hazards that you can run into.
But you would say if it's possible to have a vet that you see all the time, that's really preferable.
Yeah, and it's nice. You and I, we maintain contact on the internet while you're traveling around. That's nice. So if you do go somewhere else, you always keep me up to date on things and keep your record up to date. So that's really nice to do.
Is that normal? I mean, I don't abuse the privilege, but you let me email you with questions. Is that fairly normal with pets?
On my travelers, yeah, I get a lot of that, and I have a lot of clients that I follow through. We get a lot of travelers here. Some are like you that come back frequently, some I'll probably never see again. But I like to follow through on my cases and keep in touch, and I do email quite a few.
Yeah, so that's having a regular vet that you can email. To me, that's priceless.
Yeah, yeah.
But wherever people are, wherever you are, there would probably be something like, if you're in Florida or wherever you are, there's probably something like that can work for you. So maintaining a home base with a vet. Now let's talk a little bit about valley fever. That's a special disease that affects the Southwest.
Right, it's the Sonoran Desert area, stretches all from New Mexico to Southern California mainly. It's a fungal disease, and the spores live in the desert. We don't have it up here. We're 6,500 feet, so I don't see it here. But I do see it here, but it's from animals that travel south into the valley area in Southern California. So,
in fact, both my current dog Cody and my last dog Homer got it from being around Quartzsite.
Right.
Quartzsite's a hotbed
In the
of valley
snow
fever.
area. Yeah.
And that is one of the diseases that requires ongoing care,
Long term.
long term.
Right. Yeah. Minimum 3 to 6 months. More common a year or two.
Now, fortunately, Cody has miraculously
We
recovered.
just found out a couple hours ago. It came back negative, and it's been for like 3 years or 2 or 3 years.
About
I forget.
two,
Yeah,
I
about
think.
2 years. Yeah.
As soon as I got him 2 years ago, and as soon as I got him, he contracted.
Yeah.
That first winter in Arizona, he got it.
And we've been checking about every 6 to 12 months.
Right.
And then it came back today as negative.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
So essentially, it's gone.
Yeah. It's cleared.
Yeah, but since I will continue to see you every year, we'll keep an eye on it in case it does come back.
Oh yeah. We'll double check and make sure it doesn't sneak up on us again.
But with valley fever, that's a case of a disease that takes ongoing care. So in the beginning, I was getting blood tests every 3 months.
Right. To monitor it and on the medications. Yep.
But I was traveling that whole time, and like you said, I never had a problem looking ahead, seeing here's a dentist, here's a vet, and I'm going to stop here and get his blood drawn. And they sent you the results.
Yeah.
You took care of him, even from a distance.
Yeah. That was kind of cool. I love getting your emails, and
Right.
I would always keep in touch and when you get the test
Right.
done. Yeah.
So the same thing with the vaccinations, for example. A lot of people are concerned about vaccinations. You can do those really anywhere and keep them up to date.
Right. Yeah. That's pretty easy to do. The vaccines, you just jump apart on the dogs. Rabies, of course. And then there are some lifestyle vaccines that you might want to consider too. Some people do the rattlesnake vaccines.
Right.
If you're going to be in an endemic area for rattlesnakes, that might be a good one to have. And then I hate to mention lepto because that's a confusing one, but we don't have lepto up here. But some areas do, especially along the south. So you may want to consider lepto if it's an endemic area.
I'm not even sure I've ever heard of it.
Because it's not a problem here, so we don't really cover it here.
Oh, when
And
you
it's
say
not-
south, you mean southeast, like in Georgia?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. That kind of area a lot more than here in Arizona.
So a lot of people who are not familiar with this area are terrified of rattlesnakes. Should people be terrified of rattlesnakes? Should they consider the vaccine?
Here, not so much.
In the Flagstaff Williams area.
Right, yeah. And when you head south towards Seligman and Ash Fork, as you go down the hill into the more desert areas, we have a lot of clients that do the rattlesnake vaccines. Now, the rattlesnake vaccines, what it does, it slows down the progression of the toxins. So you still need to seek veterinary care. It's not like you can get bit by a rattlesnake and they're going to be fine. They're still going to get sick, but it slows it down and decreases the severity. So people down there they're an hour, 2 hours away from the nearest veterinarian, they get it because it'll buy them time. As far as like down in Phoenix, where you're 5 minutes away from any veterinarian, it really doesn't benefit. Does that make sense?
It does, but if you're out hiking and you're still 2 hours away from the trailhead,
Right, exactly.
and that's where you're most likely to get
Exactly,
the
yeah.
rattlesnake. So do you recommend, if you live or spend a lot of time in the desert, you recommend the vaccine?
If they've been in an area that has rattlesnakes, and especially if they've seen a lot of them or come close to them, then I think it'd be a good thing.
About what do they cost?
$29.50 for the vaccine.
Well, that's actually
But you
cheap.
have to do
Yeah.
it twice.
Yeah. it's not-
$29.50?
Right.
Oh.
So it's about $29 for the vaccine, then you get a booster in about a month, and then once a year.
And then once a year, that's
Yeah.
actually cheap. Are there any potential side effects?
I haven't seen any. I haven't seen any vaccination reactions. So all the pets been handling it well.
So you would almost, if you're spending much time around rattlesnakes, be silly not to.
That would be a good investment, yeah.
And also, I found that you don't really have to worry about them in the winter because they're hibernating. They're underground.
Yeah.
So I don't usually worry about it until March. Starting in March, I get to start thinking pretty seriously about snakes.
Right.
And that's when I start thinking about moving to higher ground.
Right.
And up here to see you, where it's beautiful
Yeah,
and
right.
cool. The biggest ponderosa pine forest in the world. So yeah, that's always one of my thoughts.
This is I love it up here.
Yeah, me too. I love, that's why I plan to be in Williams every year, is because it's so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And folks, if you are going to be based out of Arizona, I would highly recommend Dr. Jacoby.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we'd love to see you.
When I lost Cody, my Homer, my first dog, and you walked me through all that, and it was a horrible experience, but you made it as good as it could possibly be.
Thank you.
I'll be forever grateful.
Oh,
thank you.
Certainly. Those are bad days.
We sat in your office for, I think, an hour or two talking about it all and working through it. I just really appreciate that. Of course, you can't always do that.
I know. But
some days you can't do that at all, but that day you could, and I've been forever grateful.
Well, that's up here. That's one reason I like practicing up here, is I have more time to spend with clients than when I was down in Phoenix. In Phoenix, my practice was kind of a high, fast-paced. I was in and out, in and out, in and out. Here, it's a little slower paced. I can spend more time with the pets and the people and get to know them better up here. Right. So it's a small town, and I like it. I kind of like that.
Yeah, I would guess even if you were in Flagstaff, it would be a little faster paced, because it's a pretty good sized town.
Yeah, Flagstaff's a pretty big town.
Right.
So, I'm the first veterinarian here. This town's never had a veterinarian. So when I came up here 5 years ago, and I came up here just for vacation, basically. I was planning on just camping out for 3 months and hiking the canyon. But as I got to know some of the locals, they talked me into opening up this clinic, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, and it's a great place.
I just kind of stumbled across it. I wasn't planning on working up here.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about vaccines. Is there anything special a traveler should consider with vaccines? Just your
standard
stuff?
Routine. Yeah, your standard stuff. Your distemper parvo, and then your rabies. Of course, you need your rabies. If you're ever going to board, like at a boarding facility, most places require the kennel cough vaccine. If you're not, then you don't need that one.
It's one I decided I would always keep Cody on, because if you get an emergency call and you got to jump on an airplane, and if he doesn't have one, it's too late to get one.
Right. Right.
So I always want to keep Cody my dogs on board a tele. Yeah. As a traveler, you may get that call one day and just have to get on an airplane and put on board your dog.
Okay.
So, and you don't have friends in that town to leave him with, which most people would. One other question that people might have is if they travel internationally, they go into Mexico or Canada, that becomes a special issue for the RVer. Any advice there?
Health certificates, always know what's required before you get to that border. Most places require a health certificate, so you need a veterinarian that is registered through the FDA?
Yes.
No, USDA, excuse me.
USDA.
Obviously, I'm not registered, so I don't. But there's places in Flagstaff when people do need health certificates, we refer them to Flagstaff for their health certificates. So you need to know what's required in that country before you get there. Always have your rabies certificate. Even travel within the United States. Make sure. Well, a lot of people have folders now, and so wherever you go, you should keep all your records with you. So if you have to find another veterinarian for whatever the reason, at least they can look at the folder, see what was done, and that helps out quite a bit. And we're very good about that here. We give everybody copies of everything, including X-rays and everything. So I want to make sure you have everything with you, and other veterinarians like that, so they can review it.
Right.
And they can decipher it better than what we can memorize sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
I got a stack like that. I mean, every time I come in, I get it. But it's so good to have.
Yeah.
You just really have to have that.
That helps out.
It does.